What's going on, guys? Frankie Forsyth back here with another video. And in this one, I want to talk about how hustle culture, which is very prominent in the US and Western countries, ultimately takes you away from God, takes you away from your inner mind, which is where God is. You are part of the universe. Like like Jesus says, the kingdom of God is within you, right? You are the sons of God. Don't you know this? We are the sons of God. We have that spark of divinity within us. But ultimately, materialism and this kind of things that has been pushed so much in Western culture. I was talking to a guy a few days ago. He lives in Switzerland, which right now I'm in Europe. I'm in Bulgaria right now. These are the Balkan mountains behind me. But he was talking about how it's just unbelievable how much this is pushed in especially America and the West. I mean, he's from Switzerland, so I'm sure it's not too much better there. But in the East and these smaller countries, people call them third world countries, but people don't care about, even here, people don't care too much about having more. You know what I mean? They say there's a famous quote: the rich man isn't the man who has the most, it's the man who needs the least, who doesn't need anymore, who isn't greedy, who isn't gluttonous. The rich man is the man who is okay with what he has right now. Maybe he might want a little bit more here and there, but he's not after like the grotesque amount of materialism that we see in the West, and everybody judging each other based off of what job you work, based off of how much money you have, what kind of car you drive, things like this. Your status is ultimately judged off of your material value in the West, and especially, like I said, the US and North America. But like here, even in I'm still in Europe, but the further east you go, it's like the further you get away from these kinds of things, the further you get away from being judged based off of your own material possessions, not your own character. Here you're much more judged off of your character and who you are as a person, not what you can provide, not what you can how much you can further someone else's life, or how much you have achieved within your life. It's much more about your heart and your inner values and your core of who you are as a human being, rather than what you have outside of yourself. But ultimately, when you are obsessed with materialism, this takes you away from God, because it takes you away from your own inner world. Your own inner world, as I said before, is where you meet God. That's where you're ultimately sanctified, is when you go within. When you go within yourself and you've done the self-actualization, you've done the introspection needed to come to these conclusions about life, you know? And a lot of people in the West, they really lack this. They really lack the introspection, because they're always obsessed with what they can do, how much more they can do outside of themselves, how much more they can do to make more money, or to even, like, you know, build your body. People take steroids and shit like this because they have body dysmorphia. They're never happy about how far they've come. They always want more and more and more and more and more. They step on, you know, the crabs in the bucket mentality. They step on other crabs to get out of the bucket. They step on other people to get that promotion. They step on other people to make more money in business and stuff like this. People steal. I've never had any kind of problem here with people threatening to steal from me or rob me. And it happens a lot more in the West because everybody's so obsessed with materialism. You always have to worry about who's going to break in your house. They fucking leave the doors open over here in the villages. They leave the doors open. It's like that's not even a factor in their mind because it's so foreign to them. But everybody in the US is always like, oh, lock your car up. Make sure you lock your door. Make sure you watch this person walking behind you, because everybody's a criminal, you know? It's ingrained in everybody's head that everyone's out to get you, right? Everybody's out to get you in the West. Here it's not like that. I mean, like I said, I'm still in Europe, right? But the further east you go, the more you get away from that mentality. And ultimately, if you want to search for God and search for meaning in life, you have to get away from other people. You have to get away from, like what I'm talking about in this video, the hustle culture. You have to get away from, I mean, a lot of people would call me crazy saying this. They would call me not a masculine man. They would say, oh, you're just obsessed with yourself, or you're just obsessed with the wrong things. You're distracted. Who's distracted? Is it me or is it you? And I'm not necessarily talking to you who's watching this video, but is it me or is it the person who's constantly chasing material possessions? You look into any religious text, they tell you that there's more to life than materialism. Another quote from the Bible: it's easier for a camel to fit through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. Because if you're rich, you can have whatever you want, you know? You can have whatever material possessions you want. And this is another connection I'm going to make right now. This might connect the dots for you guys. Ultimately, hell is a metaphor for not being able to escape the material world. And this is going to connect to being rich and not being able to enter the kingdom of God, right? When you're rich, you can have whatever you want. So you become addicted and more obsessed with the things of the material realm. Like you can have any car you want. You can have any girl you want, because you can buy any girl, right? Any prostitute or any girl who's willing to sell herself, you can buy that with money. Money is power, ultimately. And when you have power in this realm, you want to stay here. And this is what I'm going to get into. Hell is a metaphor, right, for being stuck on this plane. And don't get me wrong, look, God's creation is beautiful. Look at this. Look at these mountains behind me. But ultimately, what our job is, and what you look at any spiritual text, what the ultimate meaning of life is to expand yourself beyond this realm. To realize that there's more than the material reality. Because if you're obsessed with the material reality, if you believe in reincarnation or things like this that are talked about in Eastern spiritual texts, right? Hinduism, reincarnation. If you're obsessed with the things of the material realm, you always want to come back here. You always want to come back to the things you loved, to the things that you couldn't get enough of, right? If you're stripped of all of you can't take what's in this world to the grave with you, right? You can't take it with you. It's gone. So that's why you can't be obsessed with the things of this world. You can't be obsessed with money. And I'm not saying money is essentially evil, but you look at what it does to people, man. I've seen money corrupt. They say money and power corrupts, right? I've seen money corrupt people time and time again. It's done it to everybody. It's done it to me in the past. But another quote about greed, which comes from Hermetic text, is the punishment